You're in for a real treat today. We're going to go behind the curtain. You're going to see what it really takes to not just build your best body, but build your best life. These two bodybuilders, Nick Jones, Justin Wessels, are living proof that good stuff happens over time. Justin, 46 years old, IFBB Pro, about to make his debut. It's incredible. Nick Jones getting back on stage again. He's already in contest shape, 6 weeks, 8 weeks out, or whatever it is. These guys, I think, epitomise what's possible when you put your mind to it, when you stay humble, when you don't chase the fast results. Whatever you want to do in your life, it's possible with awareness and ownership and staying humble, working out what you want, getting the right people around you, doing the work. These two guys, to me, capture the essence of that.
No one can touch me now. I'm just flying by. Yeah, I'm just flying by. Away from them. And no one can see me now.
Ooh, come on. 2. Yes.
As of yesterday, I'd dropped 4.5 kilo in 6 days. Yeah.
Wow.
But,
So that's
that was,
why it's a big, because we trained last Thursday.
See, this is good, because 2.5. I often thought about making a comeback to bodybuilding, but sitting here with you blokes, I'm so glad I hung up the boots. That reminded me, you know, you can't polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter. So that was me in the sport. I look at you two superstars, gods, and I'm like, I made the right choice to pick up golf. Golf was the sport for me.
No. I can feel a comeback.
Oh.
I can feel one, Jeff.
Mate, I think you're getting off feelings, James.
Really? You reckon?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a spectator. You guys are looking phenomenal, very good. I'm excited to chat to you more.
Okay, we'll do that.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah, beautiful, exactly. Tell me, what have you been up to? What's been happening?
Mate, just doing my best. I've got my little mindset community, the Jowett method.
Jowett method?
Yeah, we do a bit of that, and some speaking, some golf, some horse riding. These days, keep it simple.
Hey Justin, 13 weeks and 2 days out of your pro debut at the Arnold Classic. So what's been happening?
started 16 weeks out, which is quite a standard for me. I would have started 16 weeks out regardless. I just would have liked a longer break in between the nationals and starting for this. So started 16 weeks out with that 5 weeks off. Stopped all of the cardio just to let the body rest. And I feel it's important to recharge the batteries physically and mentally. Introduce a lot more carbs, and then without the cardio, with all the carbs, put a lot of weight on. Most of the food was clean, but you know, obviously, if you're going to indulge, that's the time to indulge.
Yes.
So look, I put on over the 5 weeks nearly 14 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went from a stage weight 97 up to 111.
Wow.
But
That's remarkable. That tells me that you really diet down for a show, right down. Because in all fairness, I think most guys would compete. Their contest condition would probably be about 6 kilos over what your contest condition is in comparison.
yeah, well,
Would that be a fair assumption?
It looked like I think I could definitely come in a little bit fuller.
Yes.
With only a marginal difference in that condition, but that's my thing. That's what I aim for. I'm not happy unless I get it. So I really do push hard to get that. Perhaps I could strike somewhat of a different balance. But look, making my pro debut, the mindset hasn't changed. I want to put that condition on stage. I'm not going to match these big boys for size.
Yes.
But I'm sure as shit going to show them what condition looks like. So kind of excited. But with that. Rapid weight gain, unless you hold it and can consolidate that weight, easy on, easy off. So when I started my prep, I love the daily cardio, not just for the fat burning effect, but mentally I really enjoy time out there walking by myself.
Yes.
I dropped 4 kilos in the first week, and
Wow.
that's not going to be a body fat loss. That's going to be all the fluid from the carbs.
Yes.
And
With no disrespect, I've got to say your jaw's come back. Your jaw's come back.
It
2 weeks, it's come back.
It started to.
Jawline's back.
So I dropped 4 first week, 2 second week, and so far this week I've dropped 1. So I've done 7 kilos.
Yes.
And I would imagine that from here on in, each week it's only going to be sort of incremental changes. Haven't changed the food at all. So standard food intake for me. I think I'm on about 3,300 calories, 3 carb meals, 2 fats meals.
Yes.
With the daily cardio, training 6 days a week. That's what my routine looks like, and
Yes.
and it's all happening. It's all happening.
It's good. It's good. How are you feeling? Does your body feel tired, or are you feeling fresh, or because you've had a big program the last couple of years?
Yeah, I
You've
have.
been competing back to back.
No, I'd be lying if I said I felt fresh. So I can feel that the switch is slowly turning into that prep mode again.
Yes.
But certainly did feel a little bit tired, I guess. But that's starting to come good. And it's funny because we spoke about it. I had a couple of breaks. I had 5 or 6 days off, and then first week in the prep I had a few days off.
Yes.
And with the rest, I actually found I didn't benefit from the rest because everything got stiff, everything got sore.
Yes.
Because I'm so used to moving. So
Yes.
now that the training is regular and everything's moving, and it's starting to get back to where I want it to be.
Yeah. So the secret as you're bodybuilding into your 40s to be able to keep moving is to keep moving.
You've got to keep moving. Oh yeah. I used to always advocate when you were younger having a break afterwards.
Yes.
And I did think that did you the world of good, but these days the break's not so good. Not so good.
It's funny, so many elite athletes, when they're talking about recovery, they talk about active recovery. So, we work with some sprint cyclists, and we have in the past a bunch of athletes, and our sprint cyclists, their recovery day would be 40 Ks on the bike, on the road, just to turn the legs over. So it's not surprising. It's not surprising to keep moving at a lesser intensity.
Definitely have to keep moving.
Yeah, it's interesting.
103.1, was it then?
Yep. 103.1.
103.1, and if you can just take your shirt off, and I'll start with the tape measure. Only just take a big deep breath in, and then all your air out. So just hold that on your belly button, exactly on the belly button, and just relax completely, let your belly hang out. There's not much of a belly there. And we'll do the left leg first, so just shoulder width apart with the feet. And again, with Justin, I'm just going to leave his shorts on because it's so much quicker. Start on the left side. Normally you'd measure the bone to get a really accurate measure, but because I'm doing these measurements each week, I'm just making it easy by going straight underneath the fold of his glute. Most people have a slight difference. The good thing about most bodybuilders is they're pretty even. I find so general pop clients will tend to be significantly bigger on one side than the other. This measurement is actually quite helpful, especially with the posing too.
There we go.
Good. So those ones are quite helpful, and now we'll just do the pinch test. So the body fat. Good. So that part's really important to make sure we get the body fat down in that area, because that can make you look thick on stage if it's not quite lean enough. Obviously Justin doesn't have that problem. So that's where he tends to hold more of his weight, in that little area. We'll just check that.
It's always for me, always the last to come off. So it's actually one of my indicators when I'm getting ready for a show.
Good. Yeah, most of the men will struggle with that area, or that's the hardest to shift, isn't it?
Only if you don't work hard enough.
Yeah, it takes the most pain. And to finish off with the calf, I'm just going to go the inner part of the calf here, which is pretty lean already from all the walking. Good. That's it. Done. So all we need to do now is input it into the software and get your body fat results.
See how fat I am this week.
Yeah.
Done.
It's going down from here.
The external rotators, there's only 2 external rotators in the rotator cuff, and there's 3 internals. So the internal rotators get very, very strong from a lot of our chest and back movements. Hence they get very, very tight. So that the internal rotators, they get worked a lot with a lot of our basic movements. Our external rotators, 2 of, I think it's infraspinatus and teres minor. I think that, yeah, that's them. They don't get worked much. So what can happen is you'll see a lot of bodybuilders over the years, their posture ends up doing these ones. So the internals get very tight and the externals actually get very weak. So I'm just trying to make sure I keep my humerus, the bone, the humerus, centered in that ball and socket joint by strengthening my external rotators. So I'll do this probably 2 to 3 days a week. I'll train external rotators, not overly heavy because they're not super strong muscles, but just to work them, strengthen them, tighten them up a little bit as well to maintain good posture and, most importantly, prevent injury down the track. I'm 47 years old now and I, touch wood, I don't have never had any major shoulder injuries, touch wood again. And this is one of the reasons why. For good longevity and health of the shoulder joint, make sure you train your external rotators twice a week.
The older you get, the more warm-ups that's required, I tell you. So I've actually been having some issues with my right shoulder. So what's been helping prior to training is some mid-back activation. I think most of the issue with the shoulder is rotator cuff. But, again, it's one of those things, you know, even with all the maintenance and management and warm-ups and stretching, eventually you do suffer from wear and tear. And shoulders are special for that. There's definitely some instability there. With the instability, there is some pain. So what we're doing today with the dumbbell press is just in small increments, working our way up the rack. So the idea is to train, obviously with high intensity, but lots of volume. So the muscle gets a lot of work, and it can reduce the impact and the pain on the joint. So keep pushing it as heavy as we can go for good reps, and then we'll move on to something else. But yeah, no, it's not too bad, not too bad.
The sleeves, because I'm getting old, that's why I wear the sleeves. No, it's just really some warmth. My elbows are fine. I wear the same ones on my knees actually, that's why they're all stretched. So it's more the warmth. But then again, along with the warmth, I think there's a perceived support for the central nervous system. You know, you may be 0.001% stronger with them, I'm not sure. But it's more the warmth and that slight bit of support. And once you do start wearing them, it's hard to stop. So it's that part of that sort of ritual to know everything's right before I do a good compound set. I always wear the sleeves. Stay warm. Certainly not the strongest bodybuilder going around, but that just felt like a good weight, you know. It's good for today. Good compound. Always helps me a lot if my training partner lifts me that first one. Helps me a lot, gives me another rep or 2 reps, which is great. It's good.
We got to remember too, is our age, and when we started there was no social media.
No.
So a lot of our best lifts were pre-social media days.
Yeah, and phone cameras. No phones. No mobile phones even. You see the form that Justin uses? Constant tension. I think it was a Bill Pearl. I think it was Bill Pearl in a seminar. It was Bill Pearl in a seminar I saw him do. He talked about constant tension on the delts. It's the muscle group that loves constant tension. So you've got to listen to these old school guys. They know what they're talking about through trial and error. They found out what worked. You see when Justin does side lateral raise, there is no momentum. There's no rest for the delt at any moment. It's good form. You don't see that.
Hit the spot, hit the spot.
Don't see that. You don't see it. Intensity builds immensity. I think it's Kevin Leveroni's old saying, but intensity, we're not using massively heavy weight, so we can still use good form. And in doing that, the reps are high, the short rests the rest periods are short. So it keeps the intensity high, having the short rest periods, and you just deal with the lactic acid. It's part of it. You know, it's part of the stimulus for a growth response as well. You know, apparently there's a growth hormone response when you're increasing lactate. So it's good to be able to tolerate the lactic acid and just push through it.
I think probably the back end of the prep, I actually probably train by myself more and more. I just, you become quite insular, become quite focused. Your energy is kind of only reserved for yourself. That's about all you got left. So, you know, even the act of conversing with people and spending, you know, time doing other things other than your own stuff gets difficult. But it's always good to train with people, you know, like-minded people that, you know, give as much as you give, you know, to challenge yourself. But yeah, you know, towards the back end, I've found that do more and more of my own stuff. I think it's a coping mechanism.
Certainly is that. You're a veteran at it too now, but...
Right, we've done the presses for the front delt, we've done some side laterals for the side, bent overs now for the rears. This one's a favourite of mine, so we start in the face down 45-degree incline bench. Up to 15 reps. Nice, smooth, strict rep tempo. As soon as we finish that 15, we'll create a superset. Turn around, head on the bench. The reason I like to head on the bench is to limit the movement in the upper body, so the delt's forced to do the work. Another 15 reps if we can, so we're talking about 30 reps. That's lots of work. Intensity is really high. One of the things I've found over the years with shoulders is the best results I've got from shoulder training is actually stricter form. I'll use the term not as heavier a weight, but as heavier weight as I can handle for that stricter rep tempo. And I've gotten far more progress out of training like that, as opposed to going heavy and loose with the form. It just works really well.
Once you superset this rear delt movement, you never ever just stop with failing on the bench rear lateral raise, because you know, the bench rear lateral raise is super strict when you're lying on the 45 degree or 30 degree, but when you finish that and you fail at that, to have so many more repetitions in the standing bent over way of doing the rear lateral raise, it's quite profound how much more you've still got in the tank. So exhaust it, like Justin said, to use good exercise technique for the delts in particular. So it's an isolation movement, guys, you know, don't forget, we're isolating the delts. It's not a compound movement, so it will be lighter and it needs to be strict.
I like to incorporate as much variety as I can when I train. I find subtle movements like a different hand position, different arm position, target the muscle slightly differently, and all that stuff with the intensity that we use helps stimulate growth.
Yeah, good different movement. You can feel it a lot more on the front. So if you're pressing with that sort of outer grip, overhand grip, you get a lot of medial delt, that medial side head of the deltoid, you get a lot of that. It's not so much front, you get a lot of medial. As soon as you bring your elbows in like we are, a lot more front, a lot more. Good. Nice.
Delt's done.
Done. Fuck yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Delt's done.
Morning, folks. That time of the day, my favourite time is meal number one, my brekkie. I'm still having it as a shake and not cooking it because I'm normally busy. The kids are normally up and running around. I'm making breakfast and doing my daddy duties. But the other thing is I really love this shake. It's my favourite meal of the day. So I've had my coffee, had my short black. I had my probiotics already, first. Took my CoQ10, my adrenal support, and now I'm ready. So it's always a ritual first thing in the morning is to get all the sups in. But this is my breakfast shake, my favorite meal. And obviously, guys, you've got to have scales, crucial. Start with my dry ingredients, 100 grams of rolled oats. I like the rolled, a little bit more fiber in the rolled oats than there is the quick oats, 100 grams. I don't know, I'm a bit of a sweet tooth when it comes to my shakes. I really enjoy them, so I add a bit of extra Splendor. There's a little bit extra. Other dry ingredients, Hydro Pro WPI. So my Hydro Pro have 40 grams of Hydro. 40, right on. You kind of get good at this, at estimating. My chia seeds, 5 grams of chia, which you're getting very low, and I reckon that's 5 grams there. 5 grams exactly. 5 grams. It's funny when you get your ingredients right, when you guess them just right, you feel like, oh, it's going to be a good day. I'm on the ball. I'm getting things right already. It's a good sign. Okay, now my wet ingredients Egg whites, 200 grams of egg whites. Should be about right, I reckon. 350, see, 350. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day today. And my cherries. I love cherries, you know, and a lot of people don't eat fruit. A lot of bodybuilders don't eat fruit when they're getting ready for a show, but you know, fruit is so packed full of vitamins and minerals. Yes, there's fructose in there. Yes, there's carbohydrates in there, but you know, most of your berries are fairly low GI. So your strawberries are always some fruit I've eaten. Pineapple, fresh pineapple is something I normally eat in my diets. Cherries, it's Christmas time and I love cherries. So 150 grams of cherries. There you go. Yes, 150 grams of cherries. And we're good to go. And let me tell you a secret to make any great shake. When you're blending a great shake, the secret ingredient, absolute secret ingredient, if you're ready for this, get ready, hold on to your seats. The secret ingredient is extra ice. Extra ice in any shake whatsoever is seriously the secret ingredient, unless you're living in sub-zero temperatures. It's probably not something that you quite enjoy, but it's summer here in Australia. You wouldn't know, we got flooded last night. You wouldn't know it's summer, but it's summer here in Australia. Here in Sydney, we had a big downpour last night. Roads were flooded, traffic lights were out. Didn't get to go to the City Gym members party. I was meant to go to the City Gym party with Ange, my beautiful wife, but we didn't make it. It was just, the weather was that bad. So anyway, let's get some water in this, blend it up, and get meal number one down the hatch. So if you do have this shake, folks, you're gonna love it. Let me tell you, it's my favorite meal of the day. It's a little noisy, we'll let it blend. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with the blending, but it's a beautiful breakfast shake. It's packed full of goodness. It's I can't remember the actual macros, but I think it's close to about 60 grams of protein to get the day started. Obviously, the fast digesting Hydro Pro WPI to get amino acids to the muscles very quickly. I've been fasting for some 8 hours. And then your slightly slow digesting egg white, which will keep me going for the day a little bit longer. Some fats with the chia seeds, some essential fats and extra fiber, lots of carbs with the oatmeal. There's 100 grams of oats, about 68 grams of carbs, along with the cherries. We're up at about 90 grams of carbs for meal number one. So it's a really good intake of nutrients for the day, both carbs and protein, vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, lots of fiber as well. My gut is in good shape with my Pro Good, and I'm ready to start the day. It's meal number one. So try this brekkie shake, folks, so you won't be disappointed, let me tell you. It's my favorite. Have a great day, everybody.
Condolences. You're right. You lost your dad a few weeks ago.
Yep.
How's the prep been, buddy? How you getting through it?
I'd be, I guess, lying if I said I was on top of it the whole time. You know, I pride myself on, I guess, being mentally tough. You know, and you know, I've competed for many years, and you know, there's always adversity when you compete. No prep's perfect. There are always stumbles. Well, not stumbles. There are always hurdles to overcome. But I just. How do you prepare yourself for something like that? You know, so Dad had cancer for many years, but really started to go downhill in the last 6 months. And the start of my prep coincided where he really went downhill. So, you know, maintaining, you know, a bedside visual whilst, you know, starting the prep. I didn't, you know, want to not give myself an opportunity to compete. So I stuck to it as best I could, but then he did pass away just before Christmas, 22nd of December. And even though you knew it was coming, you still can't prepare for that finality, you know. So that did really set me on my ass, you know. It did, I guess, highlight how, you know, as humans, how vulnerable you are, and as tough as you think you are, you know, that quickly brings you back to reality, you know. So that was a big struggle for me. He was always my biggest fan with the bodybuilding, and Dad, you know, was my best mate. And the older we got, the closer we got.
Closer, beautiful.
The funeral, and then getting up and delivering the eulogy, and then when Dad was cremated, provided a lot of closure, you know.
Right.
So when he passed, you know, spiritually he left us,
Yes.
and then when his body was cremated, physically he was also gone. You know, strangely enough, that provided a lot of peace and a lot of calm, you know. So spiritually and physically he was gone, he was at peace, he was at rest, and I felt the same. So, you know, I could still feel Dad's presence.
Great. Magic.
And using him as you know, motivation to continue to compete and get back up on stage.
I was going to ask that. Go now.
Yeah, going
as a driver
forward.
now.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, you know, once all that had been and done, and came back to Sydney, I drew a line in the sand.
Great,
Only
great.
because mentally I was at a very comfortable place. And you know, I know what I'm like. Once I drew that line in the sand, that's it, all business. So since then, put a lot of work in. I felt I had to play a little bit of catch up.
Yeah.
So, you know, the last 7 days, you know, probably shaved 4.5 kilos off,
Wow.
and I'm back to where I want to be. And I know with the remainder of the time moving forward, that very well placed to put some serious conditioning on stage in March. So, starting to get excited.
What can we expect at the Arnold's from Justin Wessels?
Well, I certainly won't change my plan of attack. That doesn't make sense, you know. So the guys I'll be going up against, they're going to be big. They're going to be bigger than me, but they won't be as conditioned as me.
Yes.
So I guess every time you compete, you want to stand out, you know. So my plan will be to stand out, but it'll be to stand out for conditioning. So you know, symmetry, extreme conditioning, and that grainy detail that we're talking about up on stage against the big boys, and hopefully, you know, there are a few of them that are a little bit off,
Yes.
and I'm really keen to see what that sort of package looks like.
It's exciting.
Against the big
I think
boys.
it's excited people all around the world. I think in your late teens, you'd had a lot of struggles. You were probably on maybe the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you then, you, to your credit, you did this. You did a 180. You turned it around. You have built an amazing business and life. How do you make those changes?
Bodybuilding saved me. An article by Frank Zane I was reading, and I was working in the oil field back then. That was a great place for me because there was solitude out there in the middle of Australia in the oil field, and it gave me time to reflect on my thoughts and what made me tick. I was awaiting going to court for my 4th assault charge, actually, and my lawyer's telling me I'm going to go to prison. I just turned 18. I was a pretty fresh-faced 18-year-old. I was training hard. You know, I just started training at 15, so I had a pretty good little physique on me, and I was a good-looking little boy. And I was very, very lucky. I read an article in a muscle magazine by Frank Zane on meditation.
Right.
And Frank Zane, you know, I probably looked up to him and role modelled him because he impressed me that he could have a physique the way that he did. He was an extreme physical specimen, being Mr. Olympia in the late 70s, 3 years running. But he had a degree in experimental psychology. So Zane was a very intellectual man, but he was heavily into Zen Buddhism. I think he was a Zen Buddhist master, so he's a very spiritual man. So that really impressed upon me. And the article on meditation I took on board. I started meditation. I'll never forget the first time I meditated. When I opened my eyes, the world looked different.
Wow.
Nothing was ever the same for me from that point on, and I don't mean that there's instant enlightenment or satori from one session of meditation, but it did something to me. It stimulated a journey of self-awareness. Luckily, a couple of months later when I went to court, I got a suspended sentence, didn't go to prison. I thought I was going because the judge sentenced me to 12 months imprisonment. And he paused. I nearly passed out in the stand, to be honest. He sentenced me to 12 months imprisonment, but on a good behaviour bond for a period of 18 months. So that was the last time I belted anybody.
Yes.
To be honest, that was it. That was it, Geoff. So, you know, I think, you know, I probably, from that point on, I won't say it wasn't like that, but from that point on started an awareness and a journey of self-discovery that, you know, bodybuilding certainly fueled as well.
So many people out there, they're in the grandstand, They're spectators. They are too scared to fully engage in life and get in the arena, and that is what this story is all about. You've done it all. You've won 2 world championships. You've done it. Justin's done it. But here's 2 blokes in their 40s dusting themselves off, going again to be better and better and better. And that's what resonates with me with this story.
You know, I love Kai Green, and he said something years ago that I thought it's very true. There's something to be said for the man or the woman that's doing the thing, that's doing the damn thing. It's very easy to sit on the sidelines and be a spectator. Very easy. There's no growth there. There's no challenge there. There's no self-development there. But the one that's in there doing it, just having a crack. And like you said, it doesn't have to be about perfection. Just have a crack, set your goal, do your best. You're not going to have a successful day every day. You're just not. But you're giving it your best, and you can't ask for any more of yourself than that. I'm giving it 100% to be my best. There's a detachment to it. And like you talk about and we talk about, there's heads up, heads down. I know where I'm going. My goals are very clear on what I want to achieve. Very clear. But I'm watching the process. I'm detached from the process and watching it as much as I'm living in it day to day. So it's been a really interesting prep. It's been a really interesting challenge, and it ultimately is just a juggle to do my best in each area. And the biggest thing, and I sat to my wife, and it's hard, is my kids don't deserve a shit dad. You know, so no matter how tired I get or how grumpy I get, I try my best to give them what I'd normally give them. And it's getting tough, let me tell you. I'm 5.5 weeks out of my first show. It's starting to get a little tough. You feel like there's claws going into your hamstrings on that negative, just ripping them. It's good.
Well, it's every other movement. The curl is coming from the feet up.
Yeah.
This one. Let's go the other way.
Yeah. Good. So, all the way. One more, good. Yep, show me that stuff. Go. Squeeze. Very nice.
Whoa. I like that. There's a lot of faith in that spot, big fella.
You see, with this exercise, you can use all these machines quite differently, to be honest, depending on the setup of the machine, your body position, but I try and get my chest hard up against the frame. So it's more like a behind the neck pull down. So a lot of guys will lean back and swing a lot more weight down, but I like to stay very upright, get my upper body right into the machine as close as possible, and get my elbows back, shoulder blades back and down, and really activate the scapula and activate the upper back, the rhomboids and mid-traps, teres. It's good machine. Go J-Dub. Let's go. Still light for you, isn't it? Still there.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
I'll definitely go heavier.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Big back. Good man.
Hey.
Again.
Hey.
Again.
Two.
3.
Ready? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Hey, here we go. Squeezing. Good. Squeezing. Hey, come on. Pull it down. Squeeze. Yep. 4. Up. 3 more. Pull. Hey, 2. Pull. Squeezing. Come on. Pull it down. Hey. Yeah. Excellent. Get a full stretch. Yeah. Yes. Come on, squeezing. Hey. Squeeze. Hey. Again. Squeeze. Hey. 1. Squeeze. Hey. Come on. 3. 1. Come on. Squeeze. Good. Come on. Squeezing. Hey, good. Get the squeeze now, everyone. Come on, J-Dub. Squeezing. Hey, good. Excellent. Thank you. The most important thing training your back, whether you're rowing, doing pull downs, doing chins, doesn't matter what you're doing, the most important thing is scapular retraction. You'll hear this, scapular retraction. So scapular, your shoulder blades need to retract. They need to come in together, back and down as well if you can. So if you can think of those 3 planes of movement or 3 dimensions of get your shoulder blades back when you're squeezing back, get them together, squeeze in together and down as well, particularly when you're working the lats to pull them down. Keep your chest up, over accentuate your posture. A lot of trainers and teachers will tell you to keep a very neutral spine, but I like to over accentuate my posture, so good arch in the lower back, keep the chest nice and high and the chin slightly up, and get that scapular retraction. The most important thing. Come on. Go. Big squat. It's good, really good. My favorite, I think my favorite hammer strength machine. I think it's my favorite. Why I didn't buy it from my place, I don't know. I do know, because you can do a close grip pull down, which is similar, and I've got a good pull down machine. But maybe my favorite hammer strength piece for the lats. Beautiful piece for the lats, beautiful. All the best, man. Merry Christmas, buddy. All the best. See you, bro.
It ain't all sunshine and rainbows, as Rocky says. You got to keep going when it's hard, and that's what these 2 gentlemen do. Bodybuilding's a great metaphor for life in so many ways. building your best body is exactly like building your best life. I say we grow when it's hard. You build muscles when the weight is heavy. You grow your mindset, your resilience, your strength when life is hard. We don't learn and grow when it's easy, we grow when it's hard, and bodybuilding is exactly the same. If you can apply the principles to life that you apply in bodybuilding, game over. You can achieve anything. It's turning up each day, training when you don't want to, getting the meals in, the snacks in, the water in, the work you do that compounds over time to create an amazing physique. It doesn't happen like that. It's the million decisions we make each and every day. I'm pumped to be able to interview these blokes and really hear from two superstars, not just in bodybuilding, but in life. People who walk the walk each and every day.